Good morning, everybody. So it is Thursday morning, and last week, if you've been following the videos, we came to our fertility clinic for the viability scan, essentially for the ultrasound, the first ultrasound. I was 6 weeks, 5 days, and the baby was measuring properly and looked great. Nothing looked wrong or anything like that, but the heartbeat, there was a heartbeat on the screen right away. But it was a little bit lower than what they wanted it. I think every doctor kind of has their own opinions, I mean, obviously, about this type of stuff. But from what I read, it was in the normal range, but it was lower than what they personally wanted, I think, before they released me. Because if you don't know, I don't know how every IVF clinic works, because I know a lot of them don't work this way either, but after this appointment, I will be released to my OB. I'll just have to have my blood work monitored, but I will go locally to do that, and we only do it that way because we don't live locally to our clinic. We live about 3 hours away from our clinic. So, you know, we go locally for the blood work to wean off the medications, because you wean off those usually fully by 10 to 12 weeks. So anyway, last week was not the best day. You know, it was just, it was kind of odd because the doctor even kept saying, like, this isn't bad news, this is good news, there's a baby and a heartbeat. That's not what people would call a bad thing, you know, this is a good thing. And I knew that logically, but I really think, and I even told Manny and my friend Chris and my mom, I just kept telling them this week, I think it's like trauma that comes from infertility. And I don't think I talk about that side of it that much, because I try to be really positive, and you know, you guys see me like, oh, I know everything's gonna be great, this transfer is gonna work, you know, and all these things. And that isn't always the way that I feel, but I just believe that speaking things and the way that you speak and the words you say are important. But anyway, so, you know, I was scared, and I think after going through infertility and IVF and all that, you know, you have bad appointments, and you know, you have for our case, our appointments in the beginning of our infertility journey, or the beginning of finding out the reason for our infertility journey. We'd been trying for years before that, but you know, it was bad appointments of, well, this may never happen. We were told at one point, you're probably not going to be able to do IVF because it's just literally, there's no chance. Like, you actually can't do the treatment, and it's the only treatment that could work. You know, there's nothing else. There's nothing right now as far as science goes that's more than IVF. IVF is the most extensive, invasive fertility treatment that they have, and it's the most successful. But anyway, so, you know, going through those appointments, and then we had success with Zion, and that was like, okay, this is a win. We haven't had many of those, but this is a win. But even like coming for egg retrieval, you know, you hope for the best, you believe God, but still in the back of your mind, you're like, what if they get in there and there's nothing, you know, or what if they get in there, and even though I don't even have those types of issues, that's not our problem, it's still in your mind. Like, what if all of a sudden this happens, you know? And so there is a trauma, I think, associated with infertility that people maybe don't know about if they've not walked through it. But with these appointments, it's really like the wildest things go through your mind, you know? And the enemy loves that. He uses that. It's one of his greatest tactics. He can't win, but he can lie. He's really good at that. And so if he can just get in your mind, he can win in some ways, you know, your peace and your joy. And so anyway, we're believing that today the heartbeat has increased. I'm actually starting to get nausea, which I didn't have with Zion. You know, I have been actually yesterday and today a little bit nauseous, not anything major, but a little bit. So we're gonna go in now and get this ultrasound done, believing for the absolute best report, and we're gonna be done here permanently. Yeah.
Well, it was easier to see this time, huh?
Yes. It looks like it might be faster this time.
Yeah, we're expecting it to be, so
good.
Don't be surprised. Can breathe a little bit easier.
Yes. Definitely different, even just from last week. I mean, looks a lot different already.
Right.
Well, the baby grew really good. Did you notice how much bigger it looked?
Yes, such a relief. I'm very
That's pretty impressive. So everything's looking just the way it's supposed to.
Yep.
It's time to call your OBGYN and say, I'm 7.5, 8 weeks pregnant. When do you want to see me? And then get an appointment to see them.
Okay.
We will once a week check your levels and then keep tapering you off until you're not on anything. Are you having any new problems?
No, I'm actually having a little bit of nausea, which I didn't have with my last pregnancy, but that's the only thing that I'm even really experiencing.
Every pregnancy is different.
Yeah.
Do not be concerned about that.
Yeah.
That's not a concern. Okay, congratulations, guys. This is what we wanted to see today.
Thank you so
Great,
much.
thank you. Oh my gosh, you guys. The amount of relief that I feel right now is unbelievable. I cannot tell you what a week I've had mentally. Just all of the what ifs, you know what I mean? Even though everything was probably gonna be fine, and I believe what God said. That's the thing. I believe that God told me that this baby's coming home with us. I know that. But the enemy, he loves to get in there. And just that one little thing. Oh, it's a little bit lower than we would think, but it's probably just started beating. Probably fine. No big deal. Next week will be higher. I was literally on edge all week. Like, what if it's not? Then what? You know? And the heartbeat today, as soon as they put the baby on the screen, number one, I didn't look right away. Normally I do, but I was looking at Manny because I was like, if he makes a face that doesn't look good, then maybe I can brace myself. I mean, this is the trauma that comes along with, you know, all of this stuff. You know, so many people don't even know they're pregnant until after this point, but you know, everything is so tracked and so watched. And so anyway, as soon as I looked at the screen, I knew that everything was fine. I could just tell. I've seen ultrasounds before. But here is the baby, so much bigger this week. I knew that the baby was going to be measuring perfectly because of the size that I could see on the screen. I knew that going to be measuring just right, and I'm measuring 7 weeks 4 days. I'm 7 weeks 5 days today, but like I told Manny I was measuring the same way last week. It's like technically a day behind, but they don't get concerned about that. If you've ever been pregnant, you know that those kind of measurements vary quite a bit. But also I'm at the start of the 5th day, so I don't feel like I'm not a full 5, you know, it hasn't been through this day yet. Anyway, every day makes a big difference. Hello everybody. It is Saturday, so it's been a couple of days now. Goodness. I'm going to the store. Zion and Manny are at home. Zion's asleep. We were going to go together to the store, but I want to make something in the crock pot, so I need to get it soon so we can have it for dinner. So I just decided to go ahead and go. And I don't have my wallet, but I can use my phone. Yeah, I'll just use my phone. If it doesn't work, then we'll just be embarrassed, I guess. I'm gonna get my wallet just in case. Got that. So anyway, I'm gonna make something in the crock pot tonight. It's so funny. It's like the most typical pregnant Rose thing to ever happen. Because I had a dream last night. This is literally why I'm going to the store. I had a dream last night that I made macaroni and cheese in the crock pot. I've never done that. I mean, I've known it can be done, but I've never done it. And I had this dream, and it looked incredible in the dream. So I'm going to the store so I can get stuff for that. And partially because Zion loves macaroni and cheese, his favorite, but so I know he'll eat it. But I'm also gonna make some meatballs to go with it because I used to go to this restaurant. They probably have them other places. I don't think we have one here in Texas or near us in Texas, but it's called Noodles and Company, and they had macaroni and cheese with meatballs that I got every time I went there. I usually went on Sundays because after church when I was growing up, and I loved that, so I just kind of wanted to make it that vibe. But anyway, I'm gonna go get the ingredients for it. And anyway, so I need to film a pregnancy update. I was gonna do that today, but I'll probably do it tomorrow after church. Probably, right, like shortly after church while I'm just ready and everything. I like to be ready in those videos, and clearly today I'm not. I could get ready, but by the time I get my, you know, macaroni sorted out and everything, so I'll probably just film it tomorrow. I'm really excited to film it. I've made my notes and everything. But I'm 8 weeks pregnant today, and I feel good. I won't update you too much in this since I'm going to do a pregnancy update, but I am having a little bit of nausea this time around. It's very mild, but with Zion I didn't have any, so compared to him having more, because I didn't have any with him, But the weird thing is, which I've heard people say this before, it's almost exclusively in the afternoon. About the time that I get extremely tired, which is about this time. It's 2 o'clock, usually about 2 o'clock. My body just like crashes, and I just get really extremely tired, which I did have that same fatigue with Zion. I had that in the first trimester, you know, needing naps and stuff like that, but I didn't have any nausea with him. I would just get really hungry. Anyway, I say that about the food thing, about the dream, because when I'm pregnant, I just am so hungry. And so apparently I was dreaming about macaroni and cheese because I'm pregnant and absolutely starving 95% of the time. So, but yeah, I will update you guys more in the actual pregnancy update, but everything's going really well. It was the biggest relief ever to go and see that the heartbeat was great on Thursday. After being told it was on the low end the first week. Now it's pretty much been confirmed that that was just because it probably just started beating. So no worries there. They said that they don't have any concerns really moving forward. You know, I mean, I don't know. I got a comment about that as well, because I mentioned that in a video, that the miscarriage rate goes down after you see the heartbeat on the screen. And when I say that, number one, I say that because that's a fact. It does, the chance does go down statistically. But I am in no way like dumb to things like that. I know that terrible things can happen at any point. Actually, I know that to the extent that I even announce my pregnancies early on, because like, what is the safe zone? I don't really think there is one. I see so many people, and I don't say that to be negative either. It's a balance. You know, I know that really you just have to celebrate when there's something to celebrate. And, you know, I know people actually have been a little bit, in my own life, last time around anyway, had been a little bit questioning, like, why are you announcing before you're out of the first trimester and things like that? Because I believe babies are worthy of being celebrated, and I'm not just gonna wait until it's safe, because when is that? You know what I mean? Like, it's just terrible things happen to people at 40 weeks pregnant. You know what I mean? And not that I'm speaking that over myself, because that's the thing. I think that's something that if you don't know me or you don't know my beliefs, it's a little bit harder to understand. But when I say, I know we're gonna be good, I know nothing is gonna happen, I think some people are like, well, she's stupid, bad things can still happen, you know, they kind of just go off. But really, that's not what I mean. I'm not saying that from a place of being dumb. I have the same anxieties that other moms have, if not even exaggerated over some moms, because of what we've been through with infertility, and being told that this may never even be possible for us. Like, of course, there's always some thoughts, especially early on. There's obviously the normal anxieties and maybe even a little bit more than that at certain times. You know, when they told me the baby's heartbeat was lower than normal for that point, or lower than they wanted, not really lower than normal, but lower than they had hoped at that point. You know, everybody has their own, every doctor has their own theories on things, but, and I love my doctor. I'm not speaking negative at all. He's great. But, I was terrified. I was absolutely terrified. I was absolutely not even myself at that time. Like, I was so upset that there was even possibly a little sign that something could go wrong, even though it was likely not one. I was terrified that it was. You know what I mean? And so I don't want you guys to think when I say like, oh, we're good now, everything is going to be great, that I'm just dumb or that I am disregarding what you've been through at all. That is not the case. But when I say that, I believe there's power in the things that you say. I am absolutely not going to walk around and speaking about how I expect a miscarriage or I expect bad things. I do not expect bad things. Do I know that they happen? Absolutely, but I won't expect them. I will only expect good things. I mean, whether you expect it or not, terrible things will break your heart, will discourage you. I didn't expect infertility. I thought that we were going to get pregnant easily, and I was still destroyed, even though I didn't expect it. You know what I mean? If I had expected it, I still would have been, guess what? Destroyed, because no matter what, it's a bad thing. Whether you prepare or not, it's still hard. So, you know, I'm not going from a place of being stupid, but number one, I do have a solid feeling that everything is going to be okay. I believe that the Lord has spoken to me about this baby. And that's not something that everybody believes in, and I get that, but I really don't get that, because God is the only way that I've made it through these past few years and what we've walked through with infertility. There's no way. There would be no other way. There would be no hope without him. We were given no hope without him. He is it. He is everything for us. And so, you know, I just stand on what he says. I stand on what I believe I heard him say. I believe that I heard him say that he has a gift for us, and that this baby is another gift for us, that he's giving this baby to us as a gift. And I know that he spoke that to me. I know he spoke it to my heart, and I'm standing on that firmly, that I believe that this is what's going to happen. So if you hear me speaking positively, don't correct me. I'm going to be positive. That's just what I'm going to choose to do. I hope you guys will choose that, because there's power in your words, and I don't want you guys to speak negative things over yourselves. It's not going to help anything, and it'll just make your mindset negative, and that's never good. So I'm going to go inside and get this food. Okay, so it's been a few days. We have been struck in our house with sickness. Zion has been sick, so we went to the doctor today. I'll talk about that in the next vlog, but I want to say everything's going great with the pregnancy. I am going to film my first pregnancy update. I meant to do that a couple days ago, but things got kind of crazy around here, so I will be filming a pregnancy update soon, but I'll be 9 weeks this Saturday. Today's Tuesday. So everything's going great. Yeah, anyway, thank you guys for all the prayers. I know on our video where it was, you know, the heartbeat was a little bit lower than they wanted. So many people were, oh, thank you, were praying for us and leaving nice comments, and so I really do appreciate that. Continue praying, of course, for us. But yeah, we're feeling really good. Amen. Yeah. Amen. So yeah, anyway, thank you guys for watching. Remember, you are incredible. Jesus loves you, and we'll see you in the next one. Say bye.